Hello.
Claire.
Hey.
Dean.
Hello.
Today we're going to talk about goblins.
Ooh, goblin. That's what they sound like.
Gobble gobble.
Oh God, this is why you did it, isn't it? Just for cheap oral sex jokes. Oh, now it all becomes clear.
We used to know a crotch goblin, didn't we?
Yes.
What was her name?
His.
His?
He was a little kid. He used to live on our street.
Makes it
Right,
sound really
okay.
bad, Mike.
It does make you sound really
I'm
bad.
just sat here waiting to hear how this is going to
we
go.
were kids as well.
We were.
Oh, right, okay. It's getting less sinister.
He was
Well,
a little bit,
he was a bit
special.
Yeah, a
Oh.
little special kid. And he used to try and grab your penis every time. Everybody, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was a right little crotch goblin.
Okay,
He
fair
was
enough.
like- yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I know you got that whole mad mentality of when lads, hey, me! And they like,
No, this was just like he'd just run at you.
he just randomly,
It was his thing.
Like I say, he was a bit special.
he was known for it.
So we just used to run away very quickly. There was no actual touching. So, make that clear.
Well,
What,
Mike doesn't look very... So Mike was like, I used to stand there waiting for him. Crotch open. Have a tickle, young man.
Well, Mike's got dozens of repressed memories of his days at
He still
his
visits
posh
him.
school, hasn't he? So,
Mike still visits him every week.
Wonder where he is now.
Ah, the crotch goblin.
Wonder where the crotch goblin is now.
well, that's a disturbing story from your past.
My past.
Well, yes, I mean, I was there too. I used to run away.
Well, we all did.
Either way, goblins. Stars of fantasy, science fiction, every film.
Folklore.
Yeah,
Folklore myth.
folklore myth. Probably a goblin religion out there somewhere. I bet there has been at some point. Let's thank some new returning listeners first, though.
We gonna do any RIPs?
Oh,
I
yes.
think we should do an RIP for good old George Foreman.
Yes.
Sadly, he passed away earlier on this week, wasn't it? Legend, really.
Legend, 78, yeah.
Good age for a boxer,
Very good age for a boxer.
especially a boxer from that era
Yeah, yeah.
where they used to just pound the shit out of each other's heads. Because look at Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, but he never got hit that much.
No, he did. That was the problem. He got hit because he could take it. He could stand there and just get punched and punched and punched
He
and not
felt
get
like a
knocked out.
butterfly.
Yeah, but have you ever seen when he had the fight with George Foreman? Was it George Foreman? I think it was. And he literally stands there. Was it George Foreman or the other? Who's the other one? The other big dude from that era. He was quite a chub.
Sonny Liston.
No. I can't think. What
Smoking Joe.
No, one of the fucking famous
Joe
ones.
Frazier?
Joe Frazier.
Frazier, Smoking Joe.
He wasn't bald and chunky though, was he? Joe Frazier. I'm just picturing him with a tash and hair. Either way, there was what I think it was Foreman. I'm pretty sure it was Foreman.
Either way.
he had a fight with Foreman, and he was just letting Foreman punch him, and he was just sat there letting Foreman tire himself out on him because he knew his punches weren't going to knock him out, and he was sat there saying to him, "Your grandmother punches harder," things like that. He was taunting him. And then when Foreman was like completely puffed out, he did float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, buff, buff, buff combination he used to do, knocks him out. And it was purely because he could just have such a fucking chin on him. But what my point was,
You're talking about Muhammad Ali rather than George Foreman, are you?
yeah, but this is my point. They don't get beaten in the head like they used to. Because they would have never have let that happen, what he did nowadays. They'd have stopped the fight after 5 or 6
I remember,
punches.
he came back at 48 and won the title.
Yeah. But yeah, George Foreman, fucking true legend.
And the grill.
I've got one of his grills.
I've
I've owned
had
a
a couple. I've had a couple.
You
It
know-
wasn't originally going to be his though.
Who's it going to be?
Famous wrestler, and he turned it down.
Match
I
up at
thought you were
97.
going to say Debbie McGee.
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Hulk grill.
Hulk
It was meant
grill.
to be,
Oh,
apparently
man.
he turned it down, and
Oh,
George
yeah.
Foreman had it.
I bet he's fucking kicking himself now.
Now they lost it all in the divorce.
Because he would have made... He must have made a... He probably made more money with the Foreman
He
grill
made
than he made
a
boxing.
ridiculous amount of money. But George had the foresight to say, hey, that grill's a really good product. It hasn't sold very well. If I stick my name on it, it'll sell better. I do the adverts. But I don't want a flat fee. I want a percentage of every grill you sell.
Is that what he did?
Yeah.
Savvy bloke.
And obviously it went on to be a storm, didn't it? So
Well, not many households in this country, I'd say late 90s,
Didn't have one.
didn't have
you
one.
know what we need now? You know what we need to do? Get together, make an air fryer, put our names on it.
Right. Okay. But
Yeah.
nobody knows us then.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Well, make some staff-sounding company name.
Well, we'd have to go with Mayor Ben, wouldn't we? Mayor Ben's famous.
Nair Ben's famous fryer.
Yeah, famous air fryer.
Flash
A
fire
buffalo in 30 seconds, but I want it now.
Thing is, the reason they went with the sports stars is because initially it was meant to be a very clean, less
But it
fat
was
way.
a bit of fat that
Because
used to come out of
George
stuff.
Foreman was
Guzzling
guzzling the fat. Fucking South Park, innit? It is South Park, it's on, innit?
More than likely,
I think so.
it's Family Guy.
Could be Family Guy.
I put
Was
more-
it in
I've
Future-
seen it somewhere.
Claire, it's Futurama. He's a head in a jar and he's being fed the fat out
That's right.
to a
I've
snorkel.
seen it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Futurama.
Yeah, you are right. Yeah, that's what it was meant for, wasn't it? And I think people forget that nowadays, that
Yeah.
its real purpose was to all the fat fucks off and you get a healthy bit of meat.
Yeah.
It's not cooking in its own fat.
Still
I'm not sure- Wait, it's a bit dry sometimes, isn't it?
It's not good for steaks because you need the fat for the steaks to
sometimes,
the flavour.
depending on what burger brand you bought, it could be a bit dry. But still, George, I'm raising a glass to George.
Sausages, they were the daddies for.
Yeah, fair play for the sausages.
Fair enough. Right, let's thank some new returning listeners.
Thanks.
Boardman in the US. I'm not going to even try and pronounce that Mexican one. Jesus Christ. Agueras Calientes in Mexico.
You did try, and you-
I think I
not too
nailed
bad.
it.
Yeah.
Traps in France. Santiago in Chile. Council Bluffs and Boardman in the US. Falkenstein, Germany. Calisa de Segura in Spain. Guatemala City. That's a nice one. Krakow in Poland.
Krakow, I think.
Krakow, of course, Visa W's. Nicosia. Nailed that one. I've been there. On a day trip.
Where is it?
Cyprus. I went to medieval world.
Nice.
Cool. And that's why you'd like the game.
Dudes walking around in armour fighting each other. It was jousting. It was great. Had a burger and wants to joust.
I thought it was a whorehouse.
It was like Westworld and robots.
There was dudes doing it. Like you can sit there, have a burger,
Dudes were
watch
doing
a
it.
joust. You couldn't get in and fight, but you could put the gear on and stuff. But yeah, it was fucking ace. Burger and jousting. We should do it now. Have a night out of the jousting. How fucking ace would that be?
They still do that in the USA, don't they?
Big thing there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this acting,
Oh,
watching,
yes.
watching something.
They
while
have
you're
the
eating
dinner,
it.
don't they? Yeah,
Your dinner.
Yeah, man. I'd go for that. Dublin in Ireland, Gentin in Germany, Guadalajara, Spain, and Phoenix, Arizona. I keep saying it, but I do love your lights.
We've got monster trucks coming soon, haven't we, as well?
Have
This
we? That's
country,
very
yeah.
American.
Like Hot Wheels ones.
We've had monster trucks in this country for as long as I can remember.
I know, but proper shows.
A proper
Yeah.
crushing car shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
we've had those shows in this country
We
for
have
as
in all
long as
fairness,
I
but-
can remember.
But still, in Telford.
Well, they do. They've had them in the
But when
day before.
when are we going to get the Truckosaurus? When?
So I remember from back in the day, like Midnight Pumpkin and things like that, back when I was a kid.
No, I wasn't into that much. Just like watching the crush cars. Oh, that's
Oh.
a beer. You always a beer.
Afraid so.
Dear, oh dear.
It's the rule.
It's a sin.
I'm normally really good on that. I'm normally shit hot on it.
Well, you always ought to be, I know. So, goblins. The origins of the word comes from the old French gobeline, which likely stems from the Germanic or Latin words of spirits or demons. And across different cultures, goblins have appeared from everything, from household tricksters to terrifying creatures that steal children. But they often blur the line between helpful and harmful, making them some of folklore's most unpredictable supernatural beings. Now, if you remember from our D&D game, Orsic, my dwarf character, was part of the Anti-Goblin League. He was a famous goblin racist. So they do encroach everywhere.
To be fair, no race likes the goblins.
Orcs don't mind, and do they? They tolerate them a bit.
Just about, but other than that, they're like the enemy of all races.
Yeah, no one likes a goblin. And there's reasons for that. I mean, sometimes they're helpful, but a lot of the times they're pricks.
Well, in D&D they're not helpful, are they?
Can be.
Can they?
You can get like treasure goblins.
Yeah, but you can get a helpful goblin somewhere.
You can get like treasure goblins. We had a goblin that would fart,
Huh.
and if it farted, it would create a portal to, can't remember what, it was like some kind of fairyland.
Right.
But
The realm of the Fae.
No. It was like some kind of cloud, fluffy pink.
Oh, right.
Everything that you, like a flower, a nice pretty flower, was fucking horrible. Unicorns, lovely, but no, they try and eat you. Teddy bears.
Why would you go there then?
Because it was very full of treasure.
Right.
Very full of treasure.
Mm.
But
Okay.
there was unicorns the size of like Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
It really was actually. Got some fucking good treasure out of that place.
Yeah.
You don't want to stay there long though.
No, I'd imagine not. Well, there are different types of goblins. We'll start with the Hobgoblin, not the famous independent brewery.
The Isle of Whimsy, I think it might have been called, or something like that.
Not where the Hobgoblin beer comes from, is it?
Don't think so.
Right, they are the most well-known goblin-like creatures in English and Scottish folklore. Unlike their more malevolent cousins, hobgoblins are often depicted as household spirits with a mischievous but sometimes helpful nature. Think Dobby.
Right.
Dobby's classed as a house elf. Technically, he's a goblin.
Well, elves and goblins are connected, aren't they?
They are.
In some
And-
beliefs.
And in some misinterpretations, I mean, really, not all elves are. So was it Tolkien who really does who started the whole elves are tall and fair thing?
I guess so.
Maybe.
I don't know.
And that's where it all kind of came from. But elves could be little creatures, couldn't they?
Yeah.
We have wood elves, dark elves, high elves, grand elves. There's lots of different.
They've evolved,
Elves.
haven't they? Like Pokemon.
Smug fuckers, these elves. They're the Eldar in 40k, or I can't remember their new name.
They've
The
always
old
got
name.
pointy ears, though, haven't they?
They've always got the pointy ears, but so do goblins.
Well, that's because they were.
This isn't Tolkien only lore and not medieval, not origin
Right,
lore.
It's yeah. Like I say, there's lots.
Don't get confused with your Tolkien.
Yeah, because Tolkien lore, they derived from them. They were like
Yeah.
dark,
Twisted by the
being
Malevolent
underground and things like that. But
forces, weren't they?
but that's also shown in Skyrim.
Yes, they were borrowing from that lore, though, aren't they?
But was he borrowing from another lore?
Well, yes and no.
This came first, didn't it?
This came
Obviously,
first. This
Old
is
English.
Yeah.
medieval English here at this point. So the legends, the Puck of English folklore, one of the most famous hobgoblins is Puck, also known as Robin. You know, Robin Goodfellow. Obviously appears in Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. He plays tricks on humans, but also helps them when it suits him, embodying the unpredictable nature of goblins. There's dozens of folk tales about goblins being helpful and trickful, and the best example I can give you is Shakespeare. The Bard himself, who may or may not have been Five Guys.
What, a burger chain?
I was just thinking that. Burgers.
And they found marijuana in his pipe, allegedly.
So fucking what?
But then he may have been like
That
five
would-
different people.
No, I think the marijuana in
Schizophrenic.
his
No,
pipe,
just like
he was an amalgamation of 5 different people, and they
Five-
all just had a pseudonym called
yeah,
Shakespeare.
or he just stole their ideas.
Well, there is a lot of talk about that, isn't there? There
Yes.
has been for many
I thought he
years.
was a real guy that existed, isn't he?
Oh,
He
100%.
is. He may be either one bloke collating another 4 blokes' plays.
He wrote
or
all of
B,
his plays.
stealing them from other people and adding his own.
He
little
wrote
quirks.
everything, yeah. But
Plagiarist.
was it his own work? Yes.
Still, the Bard himself. Some people believe that hobgoblins are closely related to bronies, which are helpful household spirits. Check out our fairies episode.
Oh yeah.
They were found in Scottish and English folklore. If treated well, a brownie will assist with chores. But insulted or given clothing, it may leave or become a troublesome hobgoblin.
That kind of works with real brownies, doesn't it? If you treat them well, they're well
Or
behaved.
give them clothes.
If you treat them well, they're good. If you're not, it turns right little bitches.
J.K. Rowling, obviously, if you're getting the reference that Dobby is a little house elf, hobgoblin, brownie, technically, then he should be, when they give him the clothing, it frees him, doesn't they, in Harry Potter? Even I know that, and I haven't seen it all. So that's a reverse of that, but it could be seen as, they see their servitude as done and go like, oh, I can do what I want now, kind of thing. So who's to say that Dobby doesn't go on to be a hobgoblin?
No, he dies, so he doesn't.
Well, maybe he would have.
Maybe.
Does he die? I don't know.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Sorry,
You
guys.
spoiled it for me. I haven't seen the last couple of films.
Probably the saddest bit in the whole of Harry Potter.
Oh.
That and when Dumbledore dies. Those are the two sad bits. I think Olivia cried the first time Dobby died.
Well,
She did about 7 or 8 when she saw it. Oh, Dobby.
didn't even come back as a spirit warrior.
No.
That sucks. Well, red caps. Red caps are more vicious. I like red caps. I like the sound of them anyway. I don't want to meet one. They're the most terrifying goblins of folklore. These small murderous creatures...
Murderous?
Murderous? Yeah, murderous.
Fucking hell.
These are the guys you see in D&D.
Are these more like gnomes than these ones?
No, they're very much goblins.
Okay.
They haunt old ruins, especially those of the dark past, and they get their name from their gruesome habit of dyeing their hats with the blood of their
Oh,
victims.
messel.
Smell as fuck, innit? Wouldn't want to meet one, mind.
Definitely not.
I kind of would.
Should
Kick it in the fucking face, little turd.
They just launches at you
And then
screaming.
about 20 just pop up.
Yeah.
And then you just swarmed.
Fun time.
Hermitage Castle, one of the most infamous redcaps, was said to dwell in Hermitage Castle in Scotland, a place known for its violent history. Travellers who stayed too long were rumoured to be hunted down by this goblin who would dip his cap in their fresh blood. So this is just one dude, one goblin working alone. He's hunting you, he's stalking you.
Yeah.
Oh. How
Well,
tall
is that
do you
the-
think they are then?
I reckon you're going to be looking about 3 foot, aren't you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wouldn't say any higher than 3 foot.
They could be
2
in
foot,
my
2.5 feet.
in my imagination. They're about 74 feet.
What?
Like, well, it's all fucking imaginary, innit? Let's face it. It's not like they really exist. Oh yes, that real goblin. Yes, he's 3'2" he is.
How would you explain all those unexplained murders in Scotland?
An angry little fucking Scotsman. That would explain the red top. So it was just his fucking ginger hair. Hey, you bastard! I'll fucking kill you and dip my head in your blood.
Well, that might explain some cases, yeah, I'm not going to rule it out.
I'm fucking pretty sure that's exactly what it is. Some crazed redhead fucking Scotsman. Short ass.
Here's also in Scottish folklore, you've got the ironclad goblins, a variation of the red caps who wielded iron pikes and wore heavy boots. Unlike other goblins, you couldn't appease them. They had no interest in bargains, only bloodshed.
These ones have got
Warrior class.
yeah, big boots on.
Big
I'm getting
pikes.
Zelda vibes. I am. You know, you can like have the
I
boots.
never played Zelda,
No,
to be honest.
different caps and the boots.
I'm just picturing like Braveheart,
Yeah.
but a little bit shorter. That's all
Yeah.
it was. They were just short asses at the time. Just little angry Scotsmen.
All that malnutrition we forced on them, no doubt.
Yeah. Little angry Scotsmen running around with their red heads.
I'm not complaining about it, it's Scotland. They did the same to us.
In a heartbeat.
They would have back in the day anyway.
They
hated
would
each
now.
other.
They would
They
now.
wouldn't now, we're all mates now.
Yes, right. Scottish have got no love for England whatsoever.
Well, let's go to Japan. Not right now, obviously.
Oh.
That'd be nice.
I was hoping you're going to pull out 4 tickets. Like, come on, let's go. Yay!
Well, no, Japanese folklore has its own version of goblin-like tricksters, the Tengu. These supernatural creatures were originally seen as dangerous demons that led people astray. But over time, they became more noble, acting as protectors of the mountains and warriors of great skill. Someone's
So
like
these weren't seen, were they? They're just
Folklore.
folklore.
someone
Like dragons.
imagine something. Isn't it weird though? You know, I always say this with every folklore thing we do. We all have the same folklore. We've just got different fucking names for it.
Yeah.
Fairies, goblins, spirits, demons,
Well,
whatever you want. We all have them in our every fucking culture has this.
and is that just a, you know how every wild cat knows how to hunt a fucking
I
bear?
thought you really thought you were going to break into every rose as its thorn then, the tie would have that. Every rose has its thorn.
No, you know what I mean. Like every different type of animal has its instincts.
Yes.
So is this not just almost like an imaginary instinct that humans have? And because of say early human, like the very beginning of human, where there was still potential like pterodactyls and things like that flying around in them days, because there wasn't.
But no, we're not there.
What? Pterodactyls?
No, I don't mean
dinosaurs and humans.
no,
together.
I don't mean literally pterodactyls.
You mean like
but like
massive
big
fucking-
fucking birds and that? Because
Yeah.
the thing is, they don't find many bird fossils because bird bones are so hollow, they just disappear. So bird fossils are very rare. So they don't really know the history of flying birds, flying creatures, because the nature of a flying creature, hollow fucking bones to allow them to be
Right.
up in the air. So there could be like lots of things back from early human that have stuck with us as like an instinctive, almost like.
Well, yeah,
It's
we used to have
learned
things called
behaviour.
terror birds, which were like...
Well, that's my
6
point.
foot
It's like
tall.
your big terror birds and
So
things
what
like
you're
that.
trying to say is, was there some kind of goblin-like creature that roamed the earth and we wiped out and hunted to
not
extinction?
not necessarily goblin creature, but it's just these fears and fantasies that we've had from very early man.
We don't know that they don't exist. They never did. We don't know for certain.
You are right. A couple
Like I
100,000
say,
years
it's
ago, early man, they might
What,
have
we found
existed.
about 1% of the fossils or something.
Yeah.
Oh, literally,
Yeah.
fossilization is insane. It's like
Yeah.
everything that dies, you've got like a 1% chance of being fossilized.
Not
That's-
even that much.
It is,
probably.
I think it's literally what if you're in. I'm sorry.
If the
That's if you're in
conditions
the
are
right conditions. It's a 1% chance of being fossilized.
Yeah. So if you
And I think of all the
And-
fossils in the world, how much have we found?
Well, they're mainly in deserts, aren't they? Which is goblins don't live in deserts, do they?
They weren't deserts when they were fossilised, were they? They
Oh,
were
yeah.
seas and things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is my other
It's all
point.
the conditions, isn't it? It's all the conditions.
What I was going to say is that all the dinosaurs that we found, we may not have only found 1% of all the dinosaurs.
Yeah, there might be lots of more
99% we
species
just
that
don't
we
even
didn't
know.
Yeah.
We haven't found the fossils or it didn't fossilise.
But the point I was trying to get to, I do apologise, is early human, we all pretty much lived on one continent at that point.
Right, Africa, yeah, 100,000 years ago.
So we all come from that one kind of place. So we've all got the instinct that could be ingrained into us from what they were kind of experiencing back then. So
Well,
this is
we
why.
recently found hobbits, didn't we?
But this is why. Well, that could be the goblins.
Could be.
That could be the goblins. That those
Yeah.
whatever that was, like your fucking your pygmies,
Yeah.
things like that. That it could be that we misconstrued as they're
Yeah,
goblins.
yeah.
They're little. They're different.
What if there was some really inbred pygmies that had pointy ears?
That could well be,
Clair?
and that started that off then.
Or they could be aliens.
I'm listening.
But that's the point. So we all started
Kelly
from that one.
Hopkinsville.
There you go.
But we all start from that one point. So the reason we all have these same beliefs is because instinctively we are all from the same fucking place. So our instincts come from that early human. So when it travels all around the world, yes, we all have these same cryptids and things like that because that's our imagination. That's almost an instinctive imagination from things that we were potentially afraid of at early human when we were all together.
It's in the reptile
Does that
brain.
make sense?
Yes. There's a learned
I wouldn't
memory.
be afraid of them more. I'd be more afraid of the 6-foot terror birds.
Oh, 100%.
But what if, right, and Kelly Hopkinsville gets some more proof and authenticity added to it. What if these goblins have been visiting us for thousands of years, some bad, some good,
Maybe.
And they haven't been to us for a while. They turn up. They haven't know we've invented firearms. They approach your house. They got their hands in the air, and we just open fire. They're like, "What the fuck happened to these guys? We used to sweep their houses."
Here's another theory then. Are they some form of alien?
I thought Kelly Hopkins was a
What's that?
famous alien character.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Oh, we've got to redo Kelly. Pete hasn't heard of Kelly Hopkins. I'm like,
I think I've heard of it.
Discussed this. It was in Blue
Of course,
Book.
we've
I've
heard of it.
heard
You
of
mention
it.
it all the
Yeah.
time.
it's my
I've heard of
favourite.
it. It's one of them that it's like.
silver goblins that look like owls.
It didn't look like
I
owls.
remember is that
They
the
look
ones
like
that
goblins.
they shot at? In
Yeah.
that they were all drunk up and
Yeah.
They
I
weren't
remember
drunk.
They're all pissed on moonshine.
yeah,
They
they were all
weren't
fucked
drunk.
on moonshine, going, "Oh, God, look at that crazy owl!
They were not drunk.
It's looking at me funny, shoot it, Bertha!"
Propaganda. That is propaganda. They were not drunk. There was
I do
no
remember
traces
though.
of alcohol found at the scene, and that includes empty bottles.
I remember this argument at the time as well.
Yeah, many times over and over again.
Anyway, next goblin.
Maybe they're not aliens. Maybe they're from the Hollow Earth. Maybe they're from inside the Earth.
Yeah. Well, who can say?
And maybe a few thousand years ago, they went, "Fuck this place. These people are going psycho."
These people are nuts.
And is this,
We
is
clean
this
their houses and they don't even thank us.
and is this where Middle Earth comes from? Because that's like Tolkien's name for
I think it just means the Earth in its middle of its time, innit? From beginning to now. I don't know. Different ages. I don't know.
Isn't it? No, look. It's just talking. The Tengu, demon goblins. Early Japanese folklore described Tengu as Yamabushi goblins, fearful beings with grotesque red faces and long noses, known for kidnapping people and causing chaos. So we've upped the terrorist factor right now.
We've all seen those
Fearsome,
masks.
Not fearful. Let's just say that.
Fearsome beings.
We've all seen those masks, haven't we?
Yeah,
You know. Can you picture that mask now?
I can. The samurai mask with
The
the red
Japanese
face.
mask with the red face and
Yeah.
a big wide mouth.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
In later stories, Tengu became martial arts masters who could teach humans supernatural combat skills.
And this is where the Tenchu stealth assassin comes from. If you remember that
Cool.
game back in the day.
Oh, vaguely. The legendary samurai Minamoto no Yoshitsune was said to have been trained by the Tengu of Mount Kurama. Oh, that's pretty fucking metal, isn't it? Where'd you learn a fight like that? Ancient masters of martial arts who are goblins.
Goblin, he's help me. no, take that out. We're not going to do no derogative racist accents at all.
You did Scottish not
Yeah.
5 minutes ago.
Yeah, why isn't that which was pretty awful, by the way. Why wasn't that Scottish accent classed as racism?
Because Scottish aren't a race as such.
Because they are. You go and tell that to Scottish people.
They're British, aren't they?
Ooh.
Oh dear, Pete.
Oh, hang on, Mike, get that man a spade. Well, let's go to a country that I'm sure Pete doesn't have an accent for. Germany.
Oh, he does.
Oh dear. Mike, edit this part. You did not need to recite that speech from that rally, Pete. In the editing,
I couldn't resist it. I couldn't resist.
In the editing, that'd be seamless.
You don't have to end it with "I love Hitler" either.
No, he was doing the "My Heart to Yours." I thought. Anyway,
We're talking about White Heart Hitler T-shirt on it as well.
It's not far off, is it, to be fair? Peaky Blinders. But it's the right era a few years later. No, earlier, yeah.
He fought in the First World War, didn't he?
God, let's go back to Hitler with you guys.
Well, we mentioned Germany.
It's your fault.
He's
Jesus
the most
Christ.
famous German, isn't he? I give
No,
you-
he's Austrian.
Oh, he is.
But it is all you think. As soon as you hear Germany, it's the first thing you see in your
Look,
head.
We've got German
It's the
listeners,
swastika.
and we have. No, we don't.
Yes, you do.
As soon as the name
I
Germany
think
is
of-
mentioned,
I think
the
of a
first
close
thing you
united
see-
Germany under the tricolour being a stalwart of Europe is what I think. What are you guys doing?
Bull.
When you
shit.
think, when anybody says the word Germany, you should
The
think
first
it
thing you see is
flashes in your
Hitler and a
head.
swastika going.
It
Definitely
flashes
edit
in-
that. Definitely edit that.
It flashes in your head. Surely, Ben.
No, I think proud Central European country, and then it flashes in my head.
That's how.
Yes. It's only been 80 years, guys. Come on.
Don't mention the war.
Oh, it's too late. We've done it too many times now. Well, kobolds are a type of goblin-like creature from German folklore, often associated with mines and homes. While some kobolds are household spirits that help with chores, others are tricksters or even dangerous beings that lead miners to their doom.
Maybe
That's a shitter.
Maybe that's what Hitler was. He was a fucking goblin. He did look a bit.
He was a goblin king.
He did look a bit goblin king-like, didn't he?
Are you describing the Germanic people as goblins now?
I don't. Why they always help with chores? What's all that about?
They just love it. It's in their
Well,
nature to be helpful and...
As a medieval peasant, that's the best thing that can happen, isn't it? Someone does your chores for you, and you sit there and get pissed. Yeah? But I guess it's like... best thing for a medieval peasant, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Well, some legends often include the cursed miners. Medieval miners believe kobolds are responsible for transforming silver ore, valuable silver ore, into worthless cobalt, a metal named after these trickster goblins. Like, oh, you won't believe what fucking Klaus found down there. All vein of silver. We're going back tomorrow, we're going to have it. And then you get there and it's all just cobalt. You're like, damn you, goblins!
Well, it's not worthless now, though, is it? It's a precious metal, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it a silver?
Isn't it
Is
what we
it
use
like,
in the
is it-
phones and everything?
Yes, but in medieval times,
Yeah, medieval times, yeah.
it was completely worthless. They're looking for silver, they
Yeah.
don't want cobalt.
The cobalt was like, yeah, this is better. They didn't realise.
No, the goblins hadn't realised we weren't up to the electronic age. But still, the medieval German peasant would be screaming like, damn you, goblin! The mischievous house kobolds, who some German households believed in friendly ones who would assist with daily tasks. Unless angered, if mistreated, a kobold might spoil food. I'm guessing piss in it, that means.
Jizz in it.
Or
Or
poop.
jizz in it.
Or a couple of little droplets of bottom nuggets.
You can say they might hide your tools or create poltergeist-like disturbances, which sounds more terrifying to me. I go, no, someone's pissing me soup. Ah, shit, things are flying around the room. On a scale of what the fuck, things flying around the room is a 10.
Oh, that's the worst.
Someone's pissed in me soup is down at a 3.
I don't know.
I'm not happy about the situation. There's not much you can do about
You
it.
can just throw it away, can't you?
Yeah, just make some more soup.
Close guard.
You want to keep it, stay there for the entire time, obviously, in that scenario. Let's go back to England and Scotland, the boggart.
Ah, the boggart.
I've heard of these.
This is from the Labyrinth.
Oh
Yes.
Yes,
That's where
yes
you
it is.
heard the boggart.
They are another form of goblin-like spirit in British folklore, known for causing havoc in homes and fields. They are often associated with poltergeists and could even be considered corrupted versions of hobgoblins. These aren't nice goblins.
So, hobgoblins aren't particularly nice, and these are worse versions of them, corrupted versions of them.
Are all
Little bastards.
Here's the question I have to ask you guys: is that all poltergeist activity because you've got a goblin in the house? You're not treating very well.
So how do you go
No, it's
around
just
that
an
then?
excuse, innit? It's like, you know, well, you haven't done the washing up, goblin did it. You know, you haven't done your chores in the field or whatever, you haven't, whatever. Oh, I did, but the goblins messed it up. Yeah?
Or
The boggart or whatever.
if you keep your boggart happy, he doesn't start trashing everything.
It doesn't exist, that's what I'm saying, it's just an excuse.
I always
isn't
leave
it?
socks on the floor. Well, yeah, it's an excuse, but I prefer my version. That all poltergeist activities caused by having an unhappy goblin.
Or unhappy wife.
Yeah, more than likely. Same difference then, really.
Or a daughter who's 12 and starts becoming a woman and attracts weird energies to her and trashes the place. So they could be an unseen trickster, causing trouble, spoiling milk, breaking objects, making eerie sounds in the night. If you do try to escape a boggart, it will follow you. Once you have one, you're stuck with it forever.
So you can't kill it?
That's sort of an excuse, isn't it?
If you can catch it, you can kill it. If it bleeds, you can kill it.
That's right.
Predator told me that.
Yeah, me too.
So, the last couple of times there were looting, really including because he's an amusing goblin, but he's also got a variant called Red Dwarf.
Hey.
Hey. He looks more like a gnome.
He's got a gnomey theme going on, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Or he's just a beard who's a looting who's identifying as a gnome.
Possibly.
Or is this where our folklore of the little red pointy-hatted gnomes comes from?
Probably.
That's not what they are. They were actually little goblins.
Maybe. Well, if you think about it, gnomes are technically a type of, how can I say it? They're like a little garden deity, aren't they?
Yeah.
Looking after your garden,
Smiling, fishing.
smiling, fishing, having a good time. They're little
garden goblin.
They're little garden idols, if you think about it. They're little idols you put in your garden. In one respect, maybe there's something that dates back to ancient history. You know,
Oh,
the best gardens always had little gnomes in them.
Only introduced in the 16th century, apparently. Gnomes.
Oh, probably puts it too late out then.
Small humanoids that live underground.
Ah. Oh well. What's the next one?
I would just say lutins can sometimes take the form of a horse saddled, ready to ride.
Well, that'll be handy.
That's a shapeshift and a half, isn't
The
it?
Cheval Bayard.
Nah, they're actually 12 foot tall.
Puka. The Puka, Irish for spirit or ghost, is considered to be bringers of both good and bad fortune. They could help or hinder rural and marine communities. Puka can have dark or white fur or hair, and they're said to be shape changers that could take on the appearance of horses, goats, cats and dogs and hares. They may also take a human form, which includes various animal features, such as animal ears or a tail. So they're fucking furries.
I was reading about furries the other day and how some of these kids are wearing tails and stuff to school.
As in, like, butt plug tails.
No, just the ones that sort of tie around their waist but then come out the bottom of their t-shirt.
Weird. Not as weird as butt plug tails, though, admittedly. I've seen them on sale at festivals, and girls wearing them.
Oh, crikey.
Yeah.
Were they, or was that just your imagination?
No, they were. They definitely were.
Yeah.
I was going around the stores one Friday night in a drunken haze, and I wanted to impulse buy because I had some spare money.
So you bought a butt plug?
No.
Oh.
And I was with a friend, and I was like, the fuck are them? And he's like, they're butt plug tails. I was like, oh, fuck, so they are. And then, like, a couple of days later, I saw a couple of younger girls walking around with these exact same tails hanging between their legs.
Dirty bitches.
Yeah.
Walking around with a dildo up your arse.
So, yeah, someone's doing it.
Well, could you see it coming out of the cleft of her butt?
No, she just had, like, a skirt on that kind of covered her ass. And then I could see the tail hanging between the legs with the same tail that was at that store. You're quite interested in that, Claire.
I just don't think it would be a very good place to wear a butt plug tail. There's a lot of sitting on the floor at a festival.
I don't think they were sitting on floors, to be fair.
More than likely sitting on penises by the sounds of it.
I think they've already stood up a lot of the time, if anything. Well, either way, there were some stories of Pukul being bloodthirsty and vampire-like creatures.
Fuck.
Other stories even say that some are man-eating beings hunting down, killing and eating their victims. So, not quite a red cat, but even worse.
How did we connect that to butt plugs?
Huh.
Oh,
Furries.
furries. Yeah. I was thinking, where the fuck did we go to butt plugs from?
I still like that Ben made up a new word.
Boast.
Spirit and ghosts.
Spirit
Both.
and
Sposts.
ghosts.
Oh, jeez, I'm copyrighting it. They'll all be using it soon. Sposts.
That's new slang.
Copyright me.
New slang.
Last one then, a bugbear, a legendary type of hobgoblin compared with the boogeyman, or boogaboo, or babu, or cookie. Coochie? Cookie?
Kukai?
Cookie? Cookie? I don't know. Cookie just sounds like someone watching me have sex with their wife. You know,
It's a bit kooky.
yeah, it's a bit kooky, that one. And other creatures of folklore, all of which were historically used in some cultures to frighten disobedient children. Because who hasn't had a child with a supernatural entity? They'll eat their heart.
Never used that one for my children.
No, well, you're missing out. So it made me the well-rounded individual I am today.
I think that's where the the annoying bit, the sort of bugbear, the
That's, yeah, the phrase translates
phrase
to
comes,
that.
yeah.
Isn't a bugbear something that you can't give up?
No, it's like an annoyance.
So
Or,
annoyance.
oh, you know what my bugbear is with
That's
that?
it, yeah.
That grinds my gears.
That's exactly what it grinds my gears, yeah.
Makes my shit itch.
That's my favourite. Not my
Well-
shit.
Itchy shit, and that's my favourite.
I'd say you've got bowel problems if your shit's itching. Or a hemorrhoid.
Or
Potentially.
worms.
Yeah, I know them as large, hairy goblinoids in fantasy roleplay, aren't they? You remember Castle of the Winds? You ever play that?
Jesus Christ, that sounds so fucking camp. Have you ever played Castle of the Winds?
It was an old role-playing game.
Well, like there's a tarantula crawling up my thigh.
No. Visual, you could see it, and you
Right.
have to go in different dungeons, and you fight different creatures, and you get weapons and things like that. Use your thing. It's one
That's
of the
how I
very
played
early
it.
ones. It's a classic.
Spirits of the Wind.
Castle of the Winds.
Castle of the Winds.
Someone out there remember it?
Well, you know what? If
so
we
you
ever
fight
remember, if we
bugbear.
have a message saying like, "Hey, I remember that game. I take it all back."
Ask Dale Winton, see if he has any knowledge of it.
Hey, Cliff Richard played it.
Nah, it didn't involve swimming pools.
That's Michael Barrymore.
No shit, yeah. Same difference.
Let's just go through a quick blast of goblins in pop culture because they do transcend pop culture. They go from folklore all the way through.
How did I just get Cliff Richard and Michael Barrymore mixed up? Seriously,
For
how
libel
the fuck?
reasons, I'm not going to say a word.
Other than they're both a pair of
Libel reasons, Pete.
tall Englishmen.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah, that's.
Who could mistake them?
I know. How the fuck?
Well, D&D goblins, they're one of your first enemies most players encounter in Dungeons and Dragons, and they're often depicted as cowardly but cunning creatures that thrive in large numbers. Their stronger cousins, the hobgoblins and bugbears, are more disciplined and dangerous. Have you ever seen the anime Goblin Slayer?
No.
Claire, not one for the youngest to watch.
Right.
Goblins, the whole game is almost like a D&D game.
Right.
So you have this young crew of adventurers going into the nest of goblins, and goblins are quite happy to have forced sex with any women they capture. That's how they make more goblins,
No way.
and they're really dangerous in numbers. And then the Goblin Slayer comes along. Oh, it's magnificent. It only kills goblins, just ranking up one goblin at a time. It's really good anyway. There's an Aztec lizard mage who is obsessed with cheese.
Huh.
You know,
What's this called?
Goblin Slayer.
Is he a cheese monster?
He is a cheese monster. He might as well be. He was a bit more like cleric actually. He did a bit of necromancy now and again. What about J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter? Goblins are intelligent, long-fingered creatures who run Gringotts, the wizarding bank.
Not Jews.
I was gonna say.
They're
I was
not
gonna
Jewish
say.
people, no. They're goblins. That's the official line. They're goblins. Is
They're
everyone-
nothing like the stereotype of
No.
what the Nazis
No,
depicted
they're
of the
nothing
Jews
like that.
during the Second World
They're
War.
goblins. Is everyone in agreement that we're talking about pure goblins?
I think subconsciously though.
No, no, Mike.
Do you not agree?
Not for libel reasons, we don't.
Allegedly.
They're masterful bankers, skilled in managing money and crafting magical objects. So they can be helper goblins. There you go. They're nice goblins. They're just money hoarding ones. They're nice. Tolkien, of course, he has orcs and goblins, doesn't he? They're kind of both the same offshoot. We had a little bit of a chat about it earlier, but they're wicked creatures living in mountain caves. In The Hobbit, Bilbo Baggins and his companions are captured by goblins in the Misty Mountains who plan to eat them. In Lord of the Rings, goblins are essentially a type of orc serving as foot soldiers for Sauron.
You'll need Urukai as well, haven't you?
Well, they're like your badass warrior class, aren't they? The ones with the white hands on their faces. Are they the Urukai? My knowledge of that isn't great.
Yeah.
As an orc, you're allowed to just go, nah, I'm not into serving as a foot soldier and just fuck off.
Now take your white hand and fuck off. I'm going off to go and run a farm.
You're allowed to do that?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think they have the mental capacity to do that.
Oh.
They're weak-minded, weren't they? Easily corrupted.
Very, very.
And they're bred for one thing, really.
Yep.
War. Of mischief.
Mischief and war, eh? Sounds like a good weekend.
But yeah, you don't see female goblins.
You don't see female orcs.
They do exist, I think. The Tolkien's world, I think.
I don't know what world you're living in. I don't
Mine's
think they
living
do
in that-
exist.
I watch a lot of videos on Tolkien and things like that. And they go deep diving into the myth and the lore.
So we're like female orcs, just like muscle mummies, is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know because we don't see them, but
Except with tusks.
Well,
I
you
think
can
they
go
do
World
exist.
of Warcraft. Warcraft film.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, they had the
I thought it was a
woman.
decent film.
It was alright. They had the woman orc. She was actually kind of hot.
Would we all
I'd
bang,
have
would
done
we all
that.
bang a female orc?
If she looked like that, yeah.
I think they've got them all chained up underground, just giving birth and like bringing up all these orc soldiers.
Maybe.
What, in real life or?
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Oh god, we had to fight orcs one day. I'll be like 60 and trembling to hold that bow, like in the tune of the film.
Lord of the Rings was actually just soft disclosure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna fight orcs one day, fuck. We'll be 60.
Just outsmart him. It's no
There's the
problem.
Urukai, mate!
We'll just outsmart
I'm
them.
there and I was like, oh fuck, I can barely hold this bow.
You won't need a bow because we have rifles.
We've regressed.
Okay.
The owls have turned over. Like, who the fuck are those guys?
Does anyone remember the original animated film?
No,
The
no, I
70s.
don't.
Like the washed, painted one. Like it's.
I have seen clips.
Yeah.
I know what you
It
mean.
used to creep me out, the orcs. They were just in black silhouette, weren't they?
Oh, if you want to watch a really good fucking animated series about orcs, but it's set in the 41st millennium, watch Hell's Reach on YouTube, which is basically the audio book set to animation, which is absolutely magnificent.
Yeah. Cool.
Labyrinth, the 1986 movie.
One of the best movies of that type, I think. Like, I don't mean labyrinth
It's a classic,
movies,
isn't it?
but like that kind of era.
Muppets.
Yeah, kids kind of film, but
They
still.
were very realistic puppets, admittedly.
Jim Henson classic, wasn't it?
Claire, you've probably seen this more than I have. You've had,
I thought The Never-Ending Story was better than this.
Oh, that's a big take.
I think they're probably on the same kind of par.
No, I'm with Claire. Never-ending story.
Don't get me wrong, love the film, but I love Labyrinth as well. Bowie, you know what I mean?
Remember this more from my youth than I do Never-Ending Story.
I remember the Bog of Eternal Stench.
Is that where the horse dies?
No,
Yeah.
you're thinking again of Never-ending Story.
Ah,
Yeah.
Artex.
that's
Yeah.
it.
So yeah,
That scarred me as a
Artex and
child.
Atreyu.
it's scarred you. That's why you've repressed the memory now.
It's really dark, that film, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do think Never Ending
Didn't
Story 2 was better though.
It didn't scar me as much as Optimus Prime dying.
Oh.
That definitely scarred me. the first time, anyway. Just dying for the first time. Yeah, David Bowie, who's great in that, isn't he? Let's face it.
Yeah.
Commands a realm full of oddball goblins, each one uniquely designed
It's like he's in the room.
to be both eerie and
Them
hilarious.
tights though, come on.
Oh, he had a wonderful bulge.
Why were you watching David Bowie's bulge?
You can't not. It's like
It's in the middle of the
it's like
screen.
the camera's like fixated on the bulge. It's like that's the centre point of the screen kind of thing. It's hard not to see it. Doesn't matter where you look.
People
You
were
look in the
filming
top
and
right
going,
corner, and
Make
it's
sure
just
you get me bulging.
Fuck it.
Well, that leads on to another debate. How hung was David Bowie? I mean, he was really
Maybe
thin, wasn't he?
he was overcompensating. Maybe he was
there was a sock in there. I don't know.
Oh, David Bowie ain't stuffing.
Nah, he had no
Come
need
on,
to.
David Bowie ain't stuffing.
Nah, he had
He's a thin white duke. He's skinny as fuck. It'll look massive.
He had a penis like a baby's arm holding a fucking apple.
Well, in Geordie we say a baby's arm with a bun in its fist, but it's the same thing. Interesting mythology creeping up. Cock like a baby's arm with a bun in its fist.
Mine's understandable to all English speakers.
I think everyone will know what babby is by now. Come on.
It's a good job you weren't on the set in it, Pete, really. You would have been a bit of a crotch goblin.
Would have been. I am.
We touched on the Goblins of World of Warcraft, they're tech-savvy, money-driven merchants, very much like the Harry Potter ones.
With hot wives.
They got hot wives in that.
Yeah, the female orc, she's quite hot, man. She looks a bit like the green woman in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Is there
She just has tusks.
There's a She-Hulk thing going on a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But you wouldn't turn down She-Hulk in a comic book form, anyway.
Well, you wouldn't anyway, because you'd be scared to. He's like, let me fuck you, okay? Alright. Boom, boom.
In the comics, She-Hulk is a massive slag. She bangs all the Avengers. Maybe not all the Avengers, but even so, she's down for it. But it's all boyish teenage fantasy, isn't it? Tall, musty green woman, bring it on.
I tried to watch the series they made of that on Disney Channel, I think it was. And I think I managed half an episode. And I
heard it was bad.
I got so bored.
New Avengers, the new Daredevil series, meant to be absolutely awesome.
Okay.
Meant to be. You see the Netflix version?
No.
Oh, watch that first. You love martial arts, Pete.
Yeah.
This is all like him just being blind and using martial arts to beat up a group of ninjas eventually.
One of Ben Affleck's best films, I think.
Well, I think he's better as Batman.
No, but I think he was really good in that film. It was the first film I actually saw him and thought, not a bad actor.
I don't know, I think that's in Dogma before I saw Daredevil.
Don't think I had.
No, I do need to read, but yeah, seriously, the new guy, Charlie Cox, the British guy, fucking brilliant. It's martial arts, except he's blind and has the, he does, you know what Daredevil's powers are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fucking ace. He's got a blind fucking sensei called Stick. It's ace. He banged Elektra. The Punisher comes into it.
Elektra. Oh. She was always hot, wasn't she?
But yeah, fucking, I can't believe you haven't watched it in all fairness.
No, it's on Netflix, is it?
Oh, it was. It might be on Disney now.
Okay. I'll have a look for that.
It's also moved over, and it's on Disney Plus. Yeah, then you watch the Punisher series.
Seen that.
You ever seen that? Oh.
That's got that. There was a reason I've not watched that though, because it's got the twat from the first season of Walking Dead in it.
John Benthal.
He's a great actor.
I know, but he's a twat.
Yeah, well,
From that part.
oh come on!
and it just makes
You'd have done the same as him in that scenario.
Sometimes it makes you not like somebody when they've played a part that, like a snake or something. It almost makes you turn off that person.
Well, you know what?
Sometimes.
Walking Dead was never the same when he left.
It wasn't. But you know what? If Joffrey came into something now, the kid who played Joffrey. I don't give up acting because he was hated. Even if he played a hero, I'd be like, fucking prick. Wouldn't you?
Well, he left acting, didn't he? Because he got
He
a lot of
did.
abuse.
He did. But I'm not sending hate mail
He was
to him.
brilliant.
Doesn't that show
was
what a
brilliant,
great
yeah.
actor he
Yeah.
was?
Yeah,
Everyone
absolutely.
fucking hated him, even
Yeah.
though he was just an actor.
I don't want
Probably a
people are so
lovely lad.
thick. I mean, if I saw him, I'd go up to him.
Mate, you're fucking ace.
Yeah, I'd be like,
Shake my hand.
fucking hell, what a character you play.
Yeah.
Mate. I wouldn't think it's him.
I know that.
I think he's a cunt. I mean, we're
No,
thicker people.
But it's just like, you think to yourself, man, he was a fucking prick in that.
Yeah, and you congratulate him on it. You
Yeah.
say, fuck me, I hated your character.
You really.
You'd distinguish between the two, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Actor,
Yeah.
character.
You'd never send hate.
What the fuck?
Do you remember them?
Like
a
Free
Marvel
Deirdre
reference?
Barlow and all that bullshit.
Oh, I was up for
Free
that.
Deirdre
I was out in the
Rashid and that.
streets.
I bet you were. I can picture that actually.
My dad had a Free Deirdre mug. Claire, do you know any Free Deirdre merchandise?
No, I didn't. I thought it was
I never-
absolutely
I never-
ridiculous.
Just
I
a,
think
just a
everybody.
20 T-bone steaks your
I
dad
remember
saved
it.
with a BSE.
For all countries out there that listen to this show that aren't in England, Coronation
Alright,
Street.
No, to be fair, Pete, anyone that's like under 40 is going to remember fucking Free Deirdre.
Deirdre Rashid.
We've just aged, oh god, yeah. We just aged ourselves horrifically. But no, we've gone from being cool older people to like weird
hold on a
uncles.
minute.
No, it's only because at that age we would have all been early teens. Our mums will have all watched Coronation
We never watched
Street
it.
fucking religiously.
But you couldn't escape it.
No,
No,
it was on the
everything.
news and everything.
It was a big thing.
Because a character got put in prison for
Yeah.
murder.
Wasn't there a debate in Parliament about it?
Yes,
Was
I
there?
believe there was.
Oh,
I do
fuck's
believe there was.
Someone said Free Deirdre
Oh,
Rashid.
fuck.
I think they took it
I
all.
think it was a
was
joke,
tongue
yeah.
in
It was a
cheek.
joke, obviously.
It was done tongue in cheek, but they actually did.
Trying to show they were people,
Yeah.
weren't
Yes,
they?
that is exactly what they were doing. It would have been John Major at the time, I think. He might
Oh,
have been
wow.
our Prime Minister.
I don't know who said it. Honestly, I don't. It probably wasn't John Major.
He was a
He had
white
no
man.
sense of humour.
No. But I think it would have been him at the time, or it would have been
Yeah, it
the
would have
very
been around that
beginning of
time.
Blair. It would have been could have been the very beginning of Blair.
Either way,
But yeah, funny.
last one. Right,
Back to Goblins.
back to Goblins. The Gremlins. They're
Yeah.
kind of goblin-y, aren't they?
No,
Love that film.
no.
They have the same
They're not-
behaviour. They're
No,
helpful or
'cause they're
harmful.
They're not helpful.
Mogwai.
Mowgli's helpful. Mowgli's helpful. He's like, yeah.
Not a
Gremlins
gremlin, though,
were
is he?
Gremlins. They can't say Gremlins are a kind of fucking goblin.
They.
The only
They
thing
do
about
transform.
it is the G and the in at the end.
I disagree. Based on behaviour, they are
Mhm.
tricksters.
Yeah.
They are mischievous. They're not evil. They're just doing their nature, which
They're
is
not
to be.
evil.
They are
Did you ever
supposedly.
watch the first one?
They
Yeah.
bite your face off.
They kill people.
Well, it's all right.
They
Red
dip
caps
their-
do
if it-
that. Okay, so
if
we can
it-
still say they're kind of goblins.
Yeah, I just think that's clutching at straws on that one because they're little Japanese fucking
But they've got.
furry little
they've
guinea pig thing.
Well,
It's
the
very-
Mowgli's furry, which.
Mowgli. Gone to the jungle.
Gizmo.
Oh shit! Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Gizmo.
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 The
sorry.
Mogwai.
The Mogwai. That's where I'm getting it from. Gizmo. Shit. Oh yeah. Wow. Gizmo. He's like little cute and furry, but you just live by the rules. You don't get goblins.
I think they're goblins. I put them down in that category. What else would you call
Yeah,
them?
yeah.
Got gremlins.
Mogwai.
Under the umbrella of goblins, I would
Mogwai
suggest.
that
They're
have
in the
eaten,
umbrella. I'll give you.
Mogwai that have eaten between the hours of midnight and 6 a.m.
Yeah, just keep him at the fucking fridge. Put him in a cage overnight.
I could see where the link has been, but I just don't think so because there's never been any talk of goblins multiplying with a bit of water.
There hasn't. And
No,
admittedly,
it's a different type of goblin.
It's a modern take.
But it's
on
only a
old myth, but-
40-year-old goblin.
But can you?
Like a hobgoblin.
Yeah, we create our own myths as we go.
But this
don't
is
we?
only a 40-year-old
Yeah.
one, so yeah.
We create
Oh
our
no,
own
it's
myths.
longer than that. It's longer than that. Do you remember the original film, The Twilight Zone? John Lithgow on the plane, the gremlin.
Why did I always think that was fucking what's his
It's
face?
the Simpsons, isn't it? Ripped it off in the school bus.
Yeah, but why do I always think it's William Shatner?
It's not.
John Lithgow
John-
in his
John
early
Lithgow.
There's
years.
something on the wing.
Yeah.
I think that might have been.
No, that
before
would that
Gremlins.
have been could that have been the piss take version?
It could have been. You're right. It could have been.
That might have been the Simpsons piss take of it, maybe. Or
I always thought
something.
it was William Shatner.
Pretty sure it's John Lithgow.
Well, he's a great actor too.
What film we're on about?
It's a Twilight
Twilight
Zone
Zone.
episode. Twilight Zone episode, yeah.
The movie. Classic.
So, why do goblins fascinate us? They do, I suppose. I mean, all of pop culture, aren't they? Cultures all across
Yeah.
the globe.
1983.
Oh, it was a year before Gremlins.
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
You got Dan Aykroyd,
Hmm.
Albert Brooks, Scatman Crothers, John
Scatman Trothers.
Carruthers.
Carruthers.
Carruthers. Like brothers with a C in it. Carruthers. Yeah.
I think he was in The Shining.
John Lithgow,
You're right.
Vic Morrow,
Yeah, John Lithgow's in it.
Kathleen Quaylen.
Alright, fair enough. That I've watched a parody with William Shatner then.
Bill Murray's in it as well.
Oh, is he? I don't remember
He's in one of them. Oh no, is that Bill Mummy?
that. Bill Mummy.
Is that just me?
Yeah, mummy.
That is an M, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
not two R's. That's an M.
That's an M.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, Bill Mummy's in it.
Whoever he is.
It's the gospel IMDb, isn't it? Let's face it. So, from mischievous tricksters to terrifying demons, goblins have fascinated humans for centuries. But whether appearing in folklore, mythology, or modern fantasy, they reflect our fears, superstitions, and even our sense of humour. Are they protectors of the home or bringers of chaos? Are they simple pranksters or malevolent spirits lurking in the shadows? The answer depends on the story and who's telling it.
Well, we kind of went through. We shot a load of it early, didn't we? I don't know what we thought they might be.
We did a little bit.
So what does everyone think?
We've all been there though, haven't we?
Well, I'm kind of sticking with my thing. I think it's all like the same as all these other imaginary things that we've all got. It's some kind of instinct in humans, and we all have these weird,
Then again,
irrational
like I
fears.
said, we found hobbits recently.
But
They could have been them.
But yeah, but it's come from something,
But where did we get those instincts? This is the
from
question.
early human.
Yeah, somebody.
Well, there could have been another, like the
Subs-
Neanderthals, another
what-
branch.
what
Like
if
these little pygmy people.
What if
Yeah.
there was a subspecies of fucked up human
Yeah, that's
who
what I'm saying.
were
Yeah.
inbred for years and got all pointy eared and
This is where your
Rat-like.
pygmies come from.
rat like?
See, the reason there's that tribe of pygmies and things like that is because that's like the very last surviving ones of them that managed to get away from the
Yeah.
other civilizations that.
Maybe we
Little
haven't
one,
found,
out,
we
yeah.
haven't found the remains because we ate them, bones and all.
Maybe their bones weren't big enough to survive.
Maybe they were eaten by all the jungle fucking wildlife.
Yeah, and
Bones and all,
yeah.
more likely. Oh,
We ate
a lion's looking at pygmies at this point like, fuck me, there's McDonald's basically.
If we, ate,
Yeah.
if we ate Neanderthals, we're going to eat the little pygmy.
Would you know?
I'm just saying that
Goblin
there's
people.
every chance that, you know, lions and that Adam too, though.
We're
Yeah,
like
so-
ogres to them.
Here's a wonderful little fact. Here's a wonderful little fact. So, you will never find fossils within any kind of forest land. Do you know why?
Why?
Because of all of the leaf foliage that comes down makes the soil very acidic. And over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, that fucking soil is really, really acidic. So this is why you don't find. This is why there's just not like deer carcasses lying around all over the place.
That's why you're going to have a desert, aren't you?
And this is why.
Talking this earlier, yeah.
And this is why I'm going to have to say it because it's me. Bigfoot's never been. Bodies have been found because they live.
He's got to bring
No,
it in.
they
I
live.
have to bring
So,
it up.
okay.
They live within
Right.
forests, so if they do die, their bones and that will just fucking disappear from the acid anyway. It's why they've never found remains.
So by this
How
logic,
quick?
It's a couple of months. It's within a couple of months.
most of goblin sightings and folklore comes from Western Europe, a traditionally very forested area. So
well,
what
I'm
you're saying
backing up
is
that-
there's as much chance as Bigfoots existing
As at
as
some
there
point,
is
yeah.
as goblins having existed at some point.
Potentially, yeah. But that's what I was using that fact as a backup of that.
And
that
you believe in Bigfoot.
The
reason-
That brings you straight off the fence into goblin territory.
but this, I was backing
Have to
up.
fact check that.
I was backing that up.
Or-
That no, it is a true thing that
Couple
the
of months.
acidity.
Well, you don't get fossils in wood. You get fossilised trees, don't you? You like tree roots. You do get some fossilisation because you have the bodies they find in bogs down and again. They've been mummified and preserved.
Yes,
So
in
you still
different
do
situations.
get-
Yeah.
But obviously, it's incredibly rare.
Well,
Not
absolutely
as-
well
not-
preserved, though, isn't it?
They are, but you get the I suppose, but there's more preserved in the dry,
The arid
heat,
areas,
arid
isn't it?
areas than there
Yeah.
is in forested areas. We don't
If you
find
forget
many.
it, you
We
forget-
don't find many dinosaur
Yeah, but they
bones
weren't
in
in
Britain, do we?
deserts. They weren't in deserts when they died. It's desert now because the continents have shifted.
No, that's shitted that much, Mike.
Yeah, I think they have. 65 million years.
America, they find loads of fossils in
Yeah, in
America.
America, we used to be one big fucking continent when the
Well,
dinosaurs
yes,
were
okay, I
around.
got you. Yeah, the
America would have been over there, and it would have been all over the place.
What?
That's why the Dorset coast is one of the. They call it.
Dinosaur coast, don't they? or
Yeah,
something,
because
yeah.
of all the fossils, not because they were in Britain at the time. It's probably like South America or
Gone on
something.
a little road trip. Let's go to England.
We're going to Prestatyn, kids.
So,
Wherever there is trees, chances are there has been trees within that area for fucking thousands and thousands and thousands
of course,
and thousands and thousands of years. So it's obvious that over that period of time,
Well-
any fallen animals within forests, their bones quite quickly disappear because of the acidity. Otherwise, like I say, you think about it, you walk through any bit of forest land, you'd
that's
just be walking
that's
over
because
bones.
it keeps
wouldn't
growing
you?
over the top, doesn't it? It's like it just sinks into the soil.
No, it's the acidity of the soil itself
Right.
just breaks it all
Okay.
down. I can't think what program it was I saw it on, and it wasn't about Bigfoot. It was talking about other things.
Please, everything you watch is about Bigfoot.
But then I made that correlation myself. I was like, well, actually, that would make sense. Because why you've never found a Bigfoot body because
What
the
about
acidity.
dumping, like, bodies in woods and stuff?
Well, this
You're
is
usually relying on wild animals as well, aren't you? Wild animals
Yeah, I
that
don't
you
think
even
so.
down
You
with
can
the
find
bones.
bones.
You can find
It's all bones
bones
they've got,
well
yeah.
after a couple of months.
Either way, is there a possibility some weird little offshoot of humanity was about?
Well, there was. We found proof.
Yeah, and then we killed it because it was weird,
Because it was little people.
weird and little. As you said, Mike, we were ogres to them. And
Then he
but
wanted,
still,
then he wanted to tie their
but
houses,
still,
and we ate their
what
bones.
if they didn't want it? What if the survivors we used as house slaves for the mischievous ones we killed outright? And if they rebelled, we killed them. That's why there's none left.
God, I bet they were like chicken wings.
Ooh, crispy. Yeah, I like
Crispy
me
pig meat
I like
and
me goblin
goblin
skin crispy. Crisping up.
Yeah.
Right. We all
Well, it could be aliens.
karaoke as well, of course. Okay. Which you're right, it could well be. Mate, who's to say
Or-
who's to say they
I've got to
weren't?
be really careful on these search because it might come up and get tagged by the police as I'm like trying to fucking thinking
I
about
will-
like burying bodies in the woods. You know what I mean? Though you're doing a search on like how long does it take for bones to disappear?
I'd probably avoid that search.
That's
if
what I
were
mean.
you.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm genuinely
Who's
like.
going to be looking, really? Come on. Unless you actually do a
As
murder.
long as you're not buying
It's like don't do a murder.
a hammer
you'll
and
be
a
alright.
saw and...
Acid. Vast quantities of acid.
You've got to add that. I'm sure you've got to add the acid, the lime. Haven't you ever seen it in the films, Pete? It can be dissolved, but if it's just
Could climb.
that's it, the lime.
Gotta add that.
We've got to add that to make it like disappear very fast.
Burns,
But I'm not disputing that less fossils
Right.
will be in the forest area because of the pH.
Yep. Right. Are we good?
Yep. So what do you said it? What you think, Claire?
Goblins. What's your final verdict?
Little fuckers, aren't they? You don't want them about, do you?
Well, you want the helpful ones, don't you? Surely.
Only
Nah.
No,
No.
you don't want to come back and all your washing's done and everything and.
They might shut up your wall.
I was going to say, but they've pissed in your milk. No, thank you. Get out.
What's a bit of piss between friends?
You're not my friend. Fuck off. Get out. Yeah, they might have existed, or they might just have been like little ugly pygmy things that in the past. But we're good at thinking up these sort of things, aren't we?
We are, but isn't it strange that every culture has it? Every culture out there has got some form of this.
Yeah, we've got the big goblins and the big boogeymans, and then the little ones. It's just people's imaginations,
Yeah,
isn't it? Anything
oral
to scare,
tradition.
anything to scare you.
So what it boils down to is we're just not all that fucking different, are we?
No.
No matter where we're all from, we all have the same
Of course.
phobias, the same boogeyman in our head.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it? That we're just all as a species not that dissimilar.
Apart from the fish man.
Well, we butchered them in the year 1282, Mike.
No, they exist. I've seen them.
When have you seen them?
On TV.
So the record.
No. You remember Waterworld? They had the gills.
Oh, right. I do going to
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
that mermaid documentary at me.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No, you do get some people that can, like, some...
Yeah, they're not mermen.
No, I know, but they go underwater for, like,
Evolution,
like
isn't it?
15 minutes holding their
They're
breath.
training.
It's fucking insane.
So here's a little thing I've just
And
found.
the other people in the mountains, they can
Those are
survive
those-
the oxygen, their lungs are better at
The Ecuadorian football team.
them too.
So here's a little thing I've just found. It's just a little segment, but forest floors typically acidic, but with variable hydrological properties. Organic material may be preserved where waterlogging occurs, which is what you were basically
Swamps and
saying.
bogs.
Like you get your swamps and bogs.
Mhm.
But archaeological evidence susceptible to acidic dissolution, such as bone, may be lost. Doesn't give a time frame. But I only said a couple of few months.
okay.
Like, that wasn't no fact. That was just I don't know a few months. But that would explain why you don't
Could be.
find.
But I think it's going to be
bones.
longer than.
Oh, it might
months.
take a few years, but even then, if it's 2 or 3 years,
I think it may be even longer than that.
I've seen there was a fucking cow or something like that was left.
Oh, I've seen that.
And
She was a
and it
pig.
fucking you see it blows up, it expands,
Yeah.
like proper like doubles in size,
That was like Mythbusters or something.
and then it disappears. But then it's not that. It was like I don't know how long, but it was gone within this. What do they call it?
Oh, it was
time
weeks.
lapse. Time lapse, isn't
Like the
it?
Hurt video,
It was like 8 weeks or something like that.
But-
the 9 Inch Nails video.
Yeah.
Fox
So this,
decomposing.
so it's, we're talking a couple of months.
I've heard Johnny
And
Cash as you.
There was no trace of this carcass there, and it wasn't because animals had taken it away. Because why would they? They're not
They still would eat the meat though, wouldn't they?
yeah, they'd have munched and helped get rid of the meat, but it's the bones that it's like, well, where the fuck are they? And it's just the high acidity levels in the foliage because of hundreds and hundreds of years of all the different leaves and all that dropping. It creates very acidic ground.
But where are you on goblins?
I believe in goblins.
Okay, we'll end it there. He believes in
Oh,
goblins.
thanks for listening, guys.
I believe in goblins about as much as I believe in chupacabra.
So like 90%.
So
Because I'm down with
Nowhere near-
Chupacabra, man.
nowhere near as much as I believe in Bigfoot, but there could be something to it. I don't think there's ever such a thing as a goblin. I'm going more on the line of it was an inbred fucking bunch of little pygmy people.
That's what I said. Sort of.
That is pretty much where, and that's where the myth came from. Yeah, it could have been a different like we came from like your chimpanzee kind of monkeys and that, didn't we? Homo sapien sapien, yeah. We came from like your kind of chimpy ape. that kind of. So who's to say little Marmoset didn't have like a little mini person that came from it? So you naturally had these little people, but they lasted for fucking a few thousand years as opposed to hundreds of thousands of years to develop into what we've developed.
Marmoset people, fucking hell.
Apart from the ones that cleaned your house and we let live.
Yeah, but you know what I mean though.
They
didn't
all died
last
anyway,
very
they
long.
Tasted too nice.
They didn't last very long.
They're like that fucking turtles. They're like turtles, they taste too good.
Chicken wings.
Ooh, goblin ribs. It falls off the bone,
really like
man. You gotta taste this.
I really like having all the household chores done every day, but my God.
He's so tasty. So yeah, I don't know. It's a strange one, and it could be something in it, but I don't think they exist now.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Well, on that note,
Unless they're aliens, of course.
Kerry
There is
Hopkins
that
film.
one, yes. And I think if anything is most likely, I think that
We
is
need
the
to
most
revisit
likely
Kerry Hopkins film. Bring in Peter
No need
Clair
to,
into the
it's
fold.
solved.
It's not solved. I want to hear Peter Clair talk about it.
Alright,
Kerry
let's
Hopkins
show
film
then.
revisited. Right. On that note, let's end the show. I've been Ben. Thank you very much for listening. Do us that wilt. Remember, love is the law, and you're all a star.
I've invited us to listen to these unfortunately.
And I've been Claire, thank you for listening. Keep an open mind, but not so open that it spills out your ears.
And I've been Pete. Everyone have a good week.